Chair recognizes the gentleman from Alabama, Mr. Strong.
Thank you, Chairman McCall, and thank you to the witnesses for being with us today, and to Chairman McCall and Ranking Member Poe for making this hearing happen. Thank you both. As the United States prepares for several major international events, understanding the trafficking risk associated with mass gathering is increasingly important. There are not many issues that bring both sides of the aisle together. This could be the one. You think about this morning, I was in a hearing related to unmanned aerial vehicles, drones around mass gathering events. We need to defeat both of these issues, trafficking and drones, at the same level. Mr. Thompson, it's great to be with you again. From your perspective, how do mass gathering events like the World Cup strain law enforcement capacity to address human trafficking?
Thank you, Mr. Strong. It's always a pleasure to be here with you as well. There's an enormous strain on local law enforcement today, as you know, as well as I do. We are overtaxed and undermanned in many, many agencies across this country. That's just a fact. The ability to recruit and retain people has been difficult on a good day, to put it mildly. The past 5 years, we've seen some really, really tough times. People, that's number one. Second challenge is that technology is moving so fast that the criminal element, sadly, is more sophisticated than the most sophisticated Wall Street banks. These are really sharp, very motivated individuals and organizations. They have the best of the best to circumvent being caught, circumvent the investigations, and circumvent the communication systems. And they're doing it as we speak.
Absolutely. As those pressures increase, how effective are current information sharing mechanisms such as coordination between federal, state, and local partners and the use of fusion centers in identifying trafficking activities tied to major events?
Mr. Strong, this is a soft subject for me. I've been in this job for 11 years, and this has been a number 2 priority for me is the information intelligence sharing, criminal intelligence sharing from the federal government down to the local level, to the boots on the ground. And it's long overdue, and I think the National Counterterrorism Center and the ODNI have finally cracked a code. If we can't put that information onto a device in the hands of a sworn law enforcement officer, what to look for, what to be concerned about, and take the see something, say something up to the highest possible level, then we are totally missing the boat. But I think they're about to do that. And I believe that there's 2 programs we are working with the intelligence community and DHS on to try and get this finally fixed so that we can streamline getting that information from the President of the United States down to the boots on the ground. It's possible, it's doable. It's not a technological problem, it's a will.
I'll tell you, we got to break these fiefdoms down so that we can get this information and the information gathering. I know we've talked about it, and I know your desire. The National Child Advocacy Center was started in my hometown of Huntsville, Alabama, and is now all over the country. And I see how that works. Local law enforcement, state, federal, DAs, all in one facility. It makes a difference, and we've got to continue that fight. Ms. McCoy, hotels are often on the front lines of trafficking detection. How prepared is the hospitality industry for the coming influx of visitors as the U.S. hosts major international events?
We certainly know that human trafficking is an insidious crime across the nation in a variety of different communities and locations. And for us in the hotel industry, we have had a long-standing commitment to being at the ready from a training perspective and operational perspective. And certainly when we have large events such as the ones we've talked about today, we take the opportunity to amplify those efforts, to reinforce them, but it certainly is something that has become an automatic component to every employee's experience in our industry, and something that we just continue to double down on when we have the attention and the awareness from these major events.
Thank you. Looking beyond preparedness efforts, Ms. Baffa, how do traffickers exploit the high travel volumes during major sporting events?
Well, they use these trafficking routes. I mean, the traditional routes that were used for the drug trades have been repurposed, of course. But again, I'd like to emphasize from my testimony, trafficking is a market crime. And while it's very important to focus on traffickers and trafficker enforcement and prosecutions are essential, traffickers are merely responding to the demand that is created by sex buyers. And so buyer deterrence addresses economic incentives upstream. And so, we have federal laws, we have state laws that mandate buyer deterrence and buyer enforcement, and that's just not being done. At the federal level to scale, it's being discouraged through TVPA grant programs, through the enhanced collaborative model. We're literally getting language from OVC discouraging these types of proactive deterrence mechanisms, even though we know they work. We have evidence from jurisdictions that they work, and we're just spinning our wheels if we're just going after traffickers until we actually focus on the true drivers of the harm, when we know they inflict just as much, if not more, egregious forms of violence on victims all over the country. And so, yes, it's very important to look at these patterns and detect and respond to the trafficker and exploiters patterns, but it's also very important to be observing buyer behavior through online sex ads. We have evidence. We were just speaking to partners this morning about the PGA Tour. They've been tracking it for several years, looking at baseline online sex ads. They see a surge every time the PGA Tour comes to town. You can see this with many other big events and large-scale events that come to host cities. And so, again, I just want to emphasize the importance of not just looking at traffickers, but also sex buyers when it comes to sex trafficking.
Thank you. I'm going to tell you, Ms. Litvak and Ms. Lindstrom, two of the most powerful testimonies I've ever heard. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
I thank the gentleman, and if I could just echo, I tell you what, we go after a couple of high-profile buyers, they're going to pucker up, and so is the entire marketplace. It'll have a very strong impact on, who's going to be involved in trying to buy humans.